It would appear 4 shinobi are up ahead. They're wearing clothes similar to the ones worn by the Hidden Sound during the tuning exams, Neji relayed to the rest of the team. Jiraiya said the sound is likely a cover for Orochimaru, so that makes sense, Naruto muttered. What about Sasuke? Hinata answered. His chakra signature is hard to sense, but I believe he's in the wooden barrel those sound ninja are carrying. This black energy is oozing out of it, covering him completely. His curse mark, no doubt. Neji nodded. The 4 shinobi are releasing the same chakra, though theirs is weaker and more contained. More of them? Seriously? Shikamaru groaned. One of them is stopping, Hinata informed. The large one who was carrying Sasuke. The others are continuing ahead. They must have found out we were following them, Kiba cursed under his breath. So, what's the plan? Shikamaru asked the blonde. Naruto stared directly ahead. Take him out and continue chasing. Naruto stared directly ahead. Take him out and continue chasing. The Nara groaned. He didn't expect the blonde to be thinking clearly, expecting all of them to be able to defeat people who were likely Chunin level, possibly Jonin, with their curse marks. Moments later they arrived in the clearing, facing off against Jirobo. Lee, you and I will rush him, Neji whispered. I'll be right behind you two, Kiba smirked. The 3 dashed, Naruto throwing shuriken ahead of them. Jirobo batted them away, defending against a trio of taijutsu styles. He saw the shadow flying towards him, making him jump. He channeled chakra to his fist, the group bombarded by the broken earth. Partial expansion jutsu! Choji sent Jirobo into a tree, Kiba and Akamaru turning into a pair of spinning drills. Jirobo was knocked back, regaining his footing and slamming Kiba into the dirt. He was prepared to land the killing blow, but found his arm held back by Shikamaru's shadow. I can't hold him long, the Nara shouted. Fire style! Twin Dragon Fire Jutsu! Naruto spewed out the flames, Jirobo engulfed by them. Shikamaru felt his shadow snap, a surge of chakra making everyone group together. Earth style. Earth Dome Prison! The group was immediately encased by stone, putting them in complete darkness. They caught a glance of Jirobo, black markings covering his skin. Lee kicked at the wall. It didn't budge. Choji punched with an enlarged fist, once again doing no damage. My chakra is being drained, Hinata said in surprise. This dome must be stealing it. The dome itself is infused with chakra, Neji added. However, it doesn't appear to be evenly distributed. The opposite wall should be weaker. Then we just need to punch our way through, Choji declared, about to use his clan's technique. No, let me, Naruto stopped him. I have the most chakra. The rest of you need to conserve your energy. I have a new plan. 1 or 2 of us need to stay here and deal with Jirobo. The rest of us will keep running. If they decide to keep splitting up, we'll only have to deal with them one at a time. Hopefully this will allow me to reach Sasuke. Alright then, who's staying here? Shikamaru asked, unsure if he liked this plan. I will, Choji volunteered. I just hope my strength will be enough to overpower him. The Nara sighed. Want me to keep you company? Shikamaru asked. Choji shook his head as Naruto began to form a Rasengan. You need to stay with him. Make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. The Nara sighed. I have a feeling I'll be doing that for a long time. The group shielded their faces as Naruto and his clone slammed the Rasengan into the dome. He forced more and more chakra into it, before the stone finally caved. Jirobo attempted to stop them, but Kiba and Akamaru knocked him away. The group dashed off, Choji facing off against Jirobo. The man cracked his knuckles, Choji grimacing. I might have to use those pills if I want to beat this guy. Up ahead, the team was starting to catch up with the remaining sound ninja. The 2 Hyuga lost track of the 6th armed man, Kiba attempting to catch his scent. Naruto jumped through a cluster of branches, immediately finding himself trapped by a web of an odd white substance. The others ended up trapped as well, a menacing chuckle ringing in their ears. Right into my trap. Unfortunately for you, you won't be following your precious Uchiha brat any further. Kidomaru appeared from the trees, the substance binding the leaf shinobi in cocoon-like structures. Kidomaru moved closer, producing a kunai, intending to cut his enemies to pieces. 8 trigrams, 64 palms! Neji was the first to slice through the webbing, Hinata quickly following suit. Kidomaru jumped away. How'd you break free? Your webs are laced with chakra, which allows our gentle fist to cut through it, Neji informed, as Hinata freed the others. Naruto, keep moving, Hinata insisted. Me and Neji are the only ones who can defend against this. Are you sure? Naruto asked, now regretting the suggestion of splitting up. You must go, Naruto Uzumaki, Neji ordered. You opened my eyes. I believe only you are capable of making Sasuke Uchiha's eyes open as well. Please, Naruto, let us do this for you. You're not alone in this fight. We also want Sasuke to come home. So please, promise me you'll go, Hinata pleaded. Naruto glanced down, finding that Hinata's hand clasped his own. Such an action would normally send her into a state of panic and embarrassment, but her white gaze held firm. Naruto nodded slowly. Then promise me that you will stay safe, he replied firmly. Hinata gave him a smile. I promise. Both me and Neji. Naruto nodded, turning to leave. Seriously? Kiba snarled. We're just gonna leave them? You can stay and get in their way if that's what you want, Shikamaru answered. Or you can put your personal hatred aside and focus. Shikamaru followed Naruto, Kiba begrudgingly trailing behind them, Akamaru at his side. I understand what you must be feeling. The Inuzuka looked to Lee as they ran together. When I first learned the truth of Naruto's secret, I was afraid and angry. Tenten was as well, and even Neji was startled. However, all 3 of us have had the chance to see what Naruto really is. He might be the holder of the Nine Tails, but he is much more than that. He is someone I'm proud to consider friend. And if he could befriend Gaara, the person who almost ended my life as a shinobi, then I'm certain you will come around as well. Kiba snarled as Lee went ahead, making Akamaru whimper. Don't count on it. Not yet, anyway. He picked up speed to rejoin the others, only to find himself gasping for air. He was thrown out of the trees by a gray blur, his team stopping their travel. Kiba! Naruto shouted, hearing no answer. Kiba, where are you? I managed to see who attacked him, Lee informed. The figure was wearing the Sound Ninja outfit. That must mean only one of them is carrying Sasuke, Shikamaru stated. If we hurry, we can take them out and get Sasuke. And Kiba? Naruto asked frantically. He's been getting stronger since the Chunin exams. He's probably ready to be promoted now. Don't worry, he and Akamaru can handle themselves, just like the others. Naruto bit his lip in frustration, turning away. They continued on in silence. After only a short distance, they realized how quickly they were catching up to the only female of the Sound Four. Her figure was barely visible through the canopy. Shikamaru, can you restrain her from this distance? Lee asked. The Nara shook his head. Not while we're moving, and certainly not when it's through the trees. My shadows won't have any ground to travel across. Alright, the moment we get close, I'll launch you two with wind style, Naruto whispered. The two nodded, picking up speed. A few moments later, Tayuya looked over her shoulder, grimacing. Naruto knew now was the time. Shikamaru and Lee jumped, Naruto positioning his palms behind their feet. With a powerful burst of air, they were sent flying towards their enemy. Shikamaru landed first, using his shadow possession, making her freeze. Lee snatched the barrel from her hands, jumping back to Naruto's side. Looks like our mission was a success, he declared. Not just yet, Naruto frowned. First, we need to get back to the village with everyone, then figure out what's happening to Sasuke. The leaf shinobi could feel the sickening aura coming from the barrel. Tayuya began shouting at them to let her go, but Naruto's too busy thinking. If it wasn't for Lee, both of them would have found themselves with blades in their backs. Lee dropped the barrel, shoving Naruto out of the path of a figure with white clothing. Shikamaru had to jump too, his shadow receding. "Kimimaro?" Tayuya bruised out. "What are you doing here?" "Fulfilling the mission you have failed to do," the man stated coldly, now clutching the barrel in his arms. The figure had white hair and similar skin. His eyes were green, red dots in place of eyebrows. He wore a white version of the Sound Ninja outfit. His chest was exposed, revealing a curse mark at the base of his neck. Naruto felt a wave of emotions, recognizing the mark. It was the same one Haku had been cursed to carry. "Tayuya, hold them off," Kimimaro instructed, dashing away. Naruto's rage increased. Before either of the Sound Ninja could react, he was aimed straight for Kimimaro's head. He easily dodged rage-fueled attacks, sending the blonde flying into Lee with a single punch. Kimimaro vanished into the forest, Tayuya producing a flute. "Shikamaru, can you handle her?" Lee asked, Naruto seething beside him. The Nara nodded. "Make sure our idiot blonde doesn't do anything stupid, will you?" Lee nodded, following Naruto as he dashed off with soul speed. Shikamaru turned back to Yayuya, sighing to himself in annoyance. Kimimaro was fast, able to outrun Naruto using soul speed. He didn't dare use Flying Phoenix and burn the forest down, so all he and Lee could do was watch as their target slowly faded away. "Lee, once we catch up, can you hold him off? At least until I get Sasuke away from him?" the blonde asked. Rock Lee nodded. "I will do my best." Naruto smiled in thanks, before the two increased their speed to the maximum. But even then, it took a long time to catch up with Kimimaro. When they did, they found him standing in the middle of a large clearing, the dark aura around the barrel now several times greater. The two instantly dashed at Kimimaro, the man avoiding their taijutsu with minimal difficulty. "Boil style! Erupting propulsion fist!" Naruto landed a blow from above, Kimimaro sinking into the earth. He jumped back to the barrel as the man rose from the ground, readjusting his dislocated arm. "Perhaps I shall have to use Lord Orochimaru's gift against the likes of you," Naruto growled. "You call that mark a gift?" "Lord Orochimaru is my master. This mark is the embodiment of my devotion to him." Kimimaro paused, releasing a fit of coughs. "Even now, I shall do what his will desires. A new host, in the form of Sasuke Uchiha." Naruto noticed the blood he'd coughed out. Lee noticed as well, realizing this enemy was already in poor condition. Before either could move, however, they all had to shield themselves as the barrel shattered into thousands of fragments. Wisps of dark chakra rose from the figure inside. Sasuke shakily rose to his feet, his head falling back in a groan of agony. His eyes snapped open, covered by the dark aura. "Who are you?" the Uchiha asked Kimimaro. "Merely a humble servant of Lord Orochimaru," he replied, bowing. "He awaits your arrival with great pleasure." Sasuke nodded, turning away. "It would seem I have pests following me. Please deal with them." "Of course." "However," Sasuke continued, Kimimaro pausing, "do your best to keep them alive." Kimimaro blinked. "Very well." Sasuke nodded before dashing away, Naruto running after him. "Sasuke, wait! Don't you dare turn your back on me!" Naruto barely dodged a spray of white bullets, Kimimaro on top of him, wielding a pure white blade. Before he could strike, Lee grabbed the blade between his palms. "Hurry, Naruto. Save your friend," the green-clad shinobi grinned. "I shall hold him off, as I promised." Naruto nodded back, using soul speed to dash out of view. Kakashi jumped from tree to tree as fast as he could. He was given orders to follow the Sasuke Retrieval team the moment the group of Jonin returned. He'd already encountered Choji, both he and his opponent down for the count. Choji was in bad condition, so he was considering returning to the village with him. Fortunately, Kankuro had appeared, him and his puppets returning with Yakimichi. He said that both Temari and Gaara were helping the Leaf Shinobi up ahead. "Kakashi-sensei!" The Jonin landed in a small clearing. Laying on the ground was Hinata, a hole straight through the side of her chest. Neji was cradling her in his arms, a large wound in his own shoulder. "What happened?" He could tell Neji was holding back tears of worry. "We were forced to let our opponent injure us so we could get him close enough to attack. Hinata took the brunt of the attack before I could stop her." Kakashi frowned behind his mask. "Can you walk?" Neji nodded. "Good. Kankuro from the sand is up ahead with Choji. Return to the village as fast as possible, and get her to Tsunade." Neji nodded numbly, Kakashi jumping back into the trees. Neji looked down at his cousin, her pulse growing weaker and weaker. "Ironic, isn't it? Once I've learned I'm not a servant of the main house, the one person I've come to care about is hurt, because of me," he muttered to himself. His heart almost exploded when he felt a hand clasp his own. He looked down to Hinata, her eyes glazed over. "It wasn't your fault," she said hoarsely. Neji forced back a smile. "Rest, Lady Hinata. Please. Just Hinata." Neji nodded in reply, grateful that Hinata wasn't able to see the tears now rolling down his face. Sand coffin. Lee watched with a hint of worry as Kimimaro was encased in sand, streaks of blood oozing out of the cracks. "That should be sufficient, even with the curse mark you mentioned," Gaara stated, his hand platform moving closer to Lee's. "I do not believe we have spoken since our battle in the preliminaries. Please, allow me to apologize for the wrongs I've done to you." Gaara bowed slightly, Lee taken aback for a moment before smiling. "I accept your apology. It is because of that encounter that I have been able to grow stronger. If not for Naruto, I doubt either of us would be here now." Gaara nodded in agreement before he sensed a wave of ki. Both he and Lee shielded their eyes as a blood-soaked Kimimaro exploded out of the sand sphere, sheets of bone visible beneath his flesh. "I will not die! Not yet!" he shouted, dashing forward, bone drill raised. "I must live for Lord Orochimaru! Ice style! Frozen Fortress!" Before Gaara could act, dozens of spikes barreled into Kimimaro, skewering him mid-air. To be certain, Gaara sent forth more sand, making sure to squeeze as hard as possible before the sound of breaking bones was heard. "Haku, what are you doing here?" Lee asked, looking down. Gaara looked down as well, a familiar person walking towards them. Black markings identical to Kimimaro covered her skin, her breath coming out in the form of frost. The markings slowly receded, Haku falling to one knee. "Are you feeling alright?" Lee asked as he jumped down to help her. Haku looked up, eyes hazy. "I shall be, now that my mark is receding. In fact, it feels better than it has ever been. Likely because the man we just killed bore the same mark," Gaara stated, joining them. "I assume you are here for the same reason as I." Haku nodded, rising. I'm here to help Naruto. I felt the curse mark's power from a distance and found you two here. I assumed Naruto was up ahead. He was chasing after Sasuke, Lee confirmed. Then I suggest we get moving. Everyone turned as they saw Kakashi appear, carrying an injured Kiba on his back. Kakashi-sensei? Haku asked in surprise. Sorry our current situation doesn't allow for pleasantries, Haku, the Jonin smiled. Gaara, your siblings have the rest of Naruto's team. Please regroup with them and bring the injured to the Hidden Leaf. What of Naruto? I know he would want you to put the lives of his friends before his own. Don't worry, me and Haku will go after him and Sasuke. He looked to Haku. Can you continue? Haku's expression grew grim. I can contain the curse mark now, but I feel as if it's reacting the closer I get to Sasuke, just like it did with the man we just defeated. Probably because Orochimaru gave them to you and Sasuke at the same time. I shall strengthen the seal on yours, then we shall depart. Gaara blinked. I shall bring Rock Lee and Kiba Inuzuka back to the Leaf. I expect Naruto to return safely as well. I promise it will happen, Haku stated, eyes firmly staring ahead. A slight grin formed on Gaara's face. I know you will. If there is anyone who would give her all to Naruto, it is you. If you like what you just heard, consider hitting the subscribe button and bell icon to get notified about new videos. If there's a part you've missed, then check out the entire playlist on screen. If you like this story, please share it with your fellow anime lovers. Any support helps a lot. That's all for now. This is Ninja Kai, disappearing in a golden flash.